I'm going to do another review. I might have already reviewed this particular copy of the Book of Life magazine, but I'm not sure. I'm going to do it anyway. And the reasons for that, I'm going to get onto that in a minute, like a bit later on. This you can see a picture of a baby on the front cover in some sort of a device where its attributes are being controlled electronically. And let's have a look at it. It says here on the cover, manufacturing men suited for specific tasks. Is this just a scientific writer's dream of a future? As scientists come to understand the workings of our genetic structures, they can project the possibility of eradicating bad genes. Perhaps they will soon be able to breed men as we bred animals in the past. Cover Bob Smithers, Ink Studios photo. Well, I don't need to tell you all that. I can just film if it right. If you want to read something, just pause the video and read it. Why does it always happen to me? At human mind, why does it always happen to me? Right. These are the contents of the different articles in this magazine. So you can just freeze the film and read. Work is a luxury. The burning question. So why does it always happen to me? The reason why I want to review the Book of Life magazine with this article in it is because I've just watched a few episodes of Some Mothers Do Have Them on That's UK. That's UK TV, or that's TV UK, whatever the case may be. It's a Freeview channel, and I was just watching it. He's a very, very accident-prone guy, and this is about the human mind. In his book, The Psychopathology of Everyday Life, Sigmund Freud gives many examples of accidents which seem to have been caused as a form of self-reproach. He tells of one patient, a young married woman who had broken her leg and was bedridden for several weeks. What her doctor found so surprising was that she showed no sign of pain at all and agreed completely calm about her misfortune. Psychologists have noticed that a relatively small number of people seem to sustain the majority of accidents. Who then are the accident prone? Well, Frank Spencer, who's a fictional character, of course, is one of the most accident prone people in the world. And this article is examining whether being accidents could actually be being caused subconsciously as a form of self-reproach. So, although this Frank Spencer is a fictional character, of course, could it be possible that he's punishing himself, subconsciously punishing himself for some bad deed that he's done in his life? A young girl of 7 was once asked what she would do if another child hit her by accident. Her prompt reply was, "Hit her back by accident." We may joke at the idea that something can happen accidentally on purpose, but recent research into the the problem of accidents has brought some very interesting facts to light. It seems that certain personality types may sometimes unconsciously decide to hurt not only others but also themselves in some way. A recent study revealed that in a certain factory only a tiny proportion of the workers had nearly one-third of the industrial accidents which occurred there. The actual figures were that 4% of the workers had 28% of the accidents. The results of such research have in turn made the whole question of safety more complicated, as industrial psychologists no longer think that accidents are always due to carelessness as such. It makes you wonder, doesn't it, really, about the accident prone. And here's another illustration here. But although this patient had shown no distress or discomfort while confined to bed, she developed a severe neurotic illness shortly afterwards and was advised to seek psychoanalytic help. During the course of this treatment, she revealed a great deal about the circumstances which had preceded the accident, and Freud reached the conclusion that she had most probably contrived it herself, even if unconsciously. Now, what's happened, you see? We'll go on to find out now what's happened, don't we? It transpired that the patient has been staying at a married sister's house together with her very jealous husband and numerous other relatives. One evening after dinner, she had given a very bold demonstration of a can-can, much to the amusement of the party, but to the intense anger and dissatisfaction of her husband, who later scolded her for carrying on like a whore, a remark which struck home. The following day, she felt like going for a drive and made a point of choosing the horses herself. During the outing, she became very nervy and complained that to the coachman that the horses were rather wild. When eventually the animals did go restless for a moment, she jumped out in fright and broke her leg. A form of self-punishment was to prevent her from dancing the can-can for quite some time. You see, so we can see here that there could be some connection between accidents and shame. See? So you never know, do you? Life together. This article comes under the category of life together. Who needs gangs? People have always joined gangs for a number of reasons, but the past few decades have shown an increase in gangs whose password seems to be violence. It's not very nice, is it? Who's who in the gang? There's photograph of some Hell's Angels there. Right. In the mid-60s, two rival gangs hit the headlines in Britain. The Mods and the Rockers. Mods affected short hairdos and road scooters, while above the rival rockers resembled original Teddy Boys with their leather gear and motorbikes. Bank holidays saw above right the invasion of seaside resorts by hundreds of these teenagers terrorising old people and causing extensive damage to property as well as to one another in gang warfare. When mobs and rockers faded out, they were replaced by skinheads below, so-called because of their very close-cropped hair. The universal wear for this gang is bother boots, a hefty kit delivered by a skinhead with one of these effective weapons called called death. The living body, men made to measure. For thousands of years, man has steadily evolved, changing to suit his environment. I don't personally think that we've evolved for mates. Is man at last in a position to control his physical destiny? What does the future hold in store for the human race? Some science fiction writers have assumed that the physical characteristics that man has developed over the past 2 million years, the characteristics that distinguish him from the other primates, will simply become more and more exaggerated as the human race gets older. Because man's brain is enlarged, they assume that it will continue to grow. Because he has lost most of his HP share, they assume that one day his whole body will be totally bald. On the other hand, because man now delegates transport to motor cars, these same writers assume that people of the future will lose the use of their legs, and because he used his machines to take the toil out of that manual tasks, they assume he will eventually lose the use of his hands and body. In other words, future man should be nothing but a huge brain abetted and carried about like it by a matchstick body. Fortunately, there is no way in which this nightmarish vision could ever come true. For one thing, but brain tissue is extremely susceptible to lack of nutriment and oxygen, so much so that babies deprived of glucose in the first few hours of life can become morons, and old people whose lungs and circulation have lost their vigour can become feeble-minded simply through lack of oxygen. A great brain can remain functional only if housed in a body that has powerful lungs and blood supply and a healthy appetite. So, the French zoologist J.B. Lamarck, 1744 to 1829, thought mistakenly that offspring inherited characteristics acquired by their parents during their lifetimes. The study of which traits are rarely passed on was pioneered by the Austrian botanist Gregor Mendel, 1822 to 84, laying the foundations of genetics in the science of human heredity. The Nazis hoped to breed a whole master race by mating parents with the most desirable Aryan characteristics while eliminating or preventing from breeding persons considered racially inferior. Even without such control of parental quality, it is possible to exploit high levels of ability in the population with advanced teaching techniques such as language laboratories. Occasionally, all the children in one family seem to inherit remarkable talents. Francis, aged 9, has extraordinary musical skill, while his brother Emmanuel is a mathematical near genius. Careful nurture of such children is essential if valuable inherited traits are not to be exploited to the utmost and not wasted. So see the illustrations there. What's this here? This is a rather fast, some rather odd-looking man's future. Man's future in space. Could scientists of a far distant future with control over man's genetic makeup create special breeds of men to face the hazards of space? Perhaps these ideas are far-fetched and unbiological, but genetic engineering, that they make possible changes. But genetic engineering may make possible changes no less important. For planets with a low gravity, men with prehensile feet and a tail. For high pressure planets such as Jupiter, 4 legs and protruding eyes. He's a rather odd looking bloke, isn't he? For a prolonged space flight, it's a man without useless legs. Powerful, stocky types to face up to a strong gravitational pull. Why not make the space colonists capable of excluding all germs? There's the case against delinquents, the child in his world, the case against delinquency. Behind volumes of impersonal statistics on causes of juvenile delinquency and are real children who've broken laws. Each needs individual help with his problem. Enemies of man. Work is a luxury. Hours of work lessen. Retirement comes earlier. For many, finding recreation may be more difficult than getting a job. What are the problems of leisure? To give enjoyment, an activity must justify itself. A hobby will not solve personal problems, compensate for an uninteresting job, or help assert individuality. Man's surfing there. Few illustrations here. Changes in society after the patterns of recreation. Once racing pigeons or training a dog were common activities. Disruption of communities by the move to new housing estates cuts down this type of activity. The equipment involved in recreation becomes more and more expensive. By 1975, Americans will be spending $250,000 million a year on leisure activities. Passivity is the other side of a coin. Television saps the urge to make entertainment in the home. Professionals do it so much better. Bingo passes the time and provides companionship, but without the involvement of a real hobby. For children, play is not leisure, but an essential part of growing up. While playing, the child learns to cope with make-believe situations that mirror the more serious conditions of adult life. Primitive peoples too have no leisure. Work and relaxation are unified. A festival may be time off, but its object is survival through honouring the gods. See, there's the illustrations. Few achieve the unity of an artist's life. Not only does Henry Moore work at his sculpture for most of the day, but he is likely to even dream of it But it may be our ultimate aim, work that is creative and enjoyable leisure, that is disciplined and merges into work. So he's rather interesting what he's doing, isn't it? The thing is, when these magazines were printed, there was no such thing as YouTube. And there's nothing better than keeping you occupied. The YouTube is the YouTube channel. Although it's very difficult to make money, it's a very difficult thing to make money out of it. This little boy was put into a bath when the water was too hot. His legs and buttocks were severely burned, but after many skin grafts, they are now almost back to normal. Medicine of Man, the burning question. Rather charming topic. Burns and scalds are commonplace injuries, but can be serious, particularly for children. But can they be prevented, and what is the proper treatment? Illustrations there. Above, a housewife scalds her arm in the steam from a kettle. Best treatment is to plunge the arm in cold water at once. Top right. To reduce the temperature, nothing should be put on the skin, but a bandage right keeps the burn clean. Illustration there. Above, surgeons base treatment of burns on percentage of body surface affected. Diagram shows how body is divided up. Top, special bed in a burns unit. Warm, dry air blown gently up through the mattress helps to dry and heal the burns. Above, gathering of guinea pigs. The burns Second World War flyers with features restored by plastic surgery. You see 9%, 18% front, 18% back, 9% on the left arm, 9% on the right arm, 1% on the groin, 9% on the front of the leg, 9% on the front of the other leg, and so same with the back as well. What are these illustrations here? Above, 2 pairs of industrial overalls set up for a flame resistance test. The pair on the left has been treated with a flame resistant finish. That on the right is untreated. Above right, the 2 overalls only the 2 overalls only a few minutes after the flame was lit. Children's night dresses and other clothes can be brought with the same flame resistant finish. That's it. So you've got all these encyclopedia series of these magazines are also encyclopedias. You see, there's a series of topics that are dealt with on the back of them in alphabetical order. So the thing that prompted me to do a review of this magazine was basically watching a few episodes of Some Mothers Do Have Them, because and for Frank Spencer is one of the more absent-minded amongst us. I'm going to do another discussion tomorrow. Is Some Mothers Do Have Them merely taking the Michael? No, is it merely mocking people with disabilities? And the reason why it's taking the mic is a bit of pun on words is because the accident-prone character Frank Spencer was played by Michael Crawford. So look forward. Anyway, hope you're looking forward to seeing that discussion tomorrow on Some Mothers Do Have 'Em.